So one quick observation, or rather two. So when I heard that getting read out, that's when I understood the amount of jargon that we use in even common language. And second, I asked my team when they asked me what sort of slot do you want, I said any slot before. I mean any slot, but not the slot before dinner. And here we are, right? So I've been given the unenviable task of probably talking to you about something that all of us are living on a day-to-day basis, which is the way that our lives are getting transformed. And the good segue into this is this fancy five-letter word called COVID, and how that has completely disrupted various business models. Of course, we as consultants, we have thrived in that because it's a great opportunity to talk to clients, understand what the challenges are, and figure out how to mitigate some of those challenges, if not avoid them in the future. Of course, I heard the word black swan or the phrase black swan being thrown about here and there. Yeah, there could be black swans in the future, but the reason why we folks are around as consultants is at least give our clients some modicum of confidence that they are capable and resilient enough to avoid some of the challenges that they've faced so far in this black swan event if something else were to happen in the future. There's a fantastic report that we worked on, or rather Frost and Sullivan's worked on with us, called Go Digital, Going Digital Faster. I would encourage you all to probably take a look at it. But that in some presents our thoughts on the challenges as well as the opportunities that are present to all of us in business, whichever be the segment, and how we can probably look at overcoming some of the inherent challenges that we have inculcated in our business, in our business models, using things like digital, using words called transformation, but trying to understand what transformation actually means. Okay, I don't want to go into theory. What I'll try to outline in the next 2-3 minutes is a couple of examples, right? So the last 18 months have been the most busy months of my life. And like ma'am just mentioned, I've been a consultant for close to 15 years. But the last 18 months, we've worked, I mean, almost every consulting partner at KPMG has worked at least 12 to 14 hours a day, including weekends. And that's not because, and that's just because of the amount of demand that's coming to us, right? And when we say demand, it is about clients saying, hey, we were so unprepared to handle what we are now going through. Can we look at all of the proposals that we had discussed with you in the last 6 months, whether they be about cost optimization, revenue increment, alternate channels, technology, digital strategy, not technology strategy anymore, journey to cloud, because on-prem, I just can't get enough hardware. Can I look at Amazon or Azure? And we said, yeah, why not? But we don't have enough people. And you know about the great resignation going on right now. So that's another small black swan that we had not anticipated, but yeah, these things will keep coming on. What I've tried to outline here are probably 5 areas where we are seeing the most conversations happening. The one right at the top is what even we in the consulting industry are facing, which is about new delivery models, keeping in mind health and safety, right? As we all start returning to work, our workspaces have to change. The way we handle our employees and our partners have to change, right? And there was no model put in place to actually, even give us some inputs about that. The number of clients who are talking to us saying, you know what, I mean, there's a client that I know in Chennai who's actually shut down his headquarters. There's a 2,000 crore company. They have shut down a lot of their traditional retail channels because the amount of uptick that they're seeing in Amazon net sales is tremendous. I'm talking to, or rather we are working with so many pharma clients whose a majority of their raw material was coming from China. So much so that it's almost 50 to 60%, and they are unable to get alternative supply channels or supply partners. Whether they are pharma, chemicals, the amount of dependence on one particular vendor type or one particular vendor region is something that a lot of clients are talking to us about. So these are all opportunities for us to ask the question, what, why not, how, and clients who had absolutely said, we don't want to do consulting. We know our industry. We don't want to work with consultants. These are the clients who are saying, hey, probably we don't know enough, and we encourage people to come and have that dialogue with us. And of course, a lot of clients, on the flip side, a lot of clients who've said, hey, this is the best opportunity. Here's 20 crore. Let's see what we can do on technology with that. Those are the same clients who then, after that very prolific spending, are now facing security risks, IT security, because of that unfettered manner in which they have started to adopt technologies that they did not understand. Okay, they have now they are now with security risks, ransomware attacks, entire production servers going down on-prem, etc. All of which is ultimately staring at a situation where we are talking about loss of revenue. But of course, the reason I have put this in 5 different blocks is it is a unique combination of these 5 blocks that clients are facing. Maybe some clients have higher degree of supply chain problems, less on customer channels, but it is these 5 blocks, if I can distill it, are the areas that clients are talking to us about, okay, and that we need to solve. And of course, I've got some metrics here, but again, of the 750 clients that we surveyed across the world, and these clients are digital leaders, almost 65% of them have said, we are adding more impetus to our digital strategy. We are spending more on digital adoption and what have you. I'll now give you 2 examples, and this is an example of 2 clients in the same, or rather 2 companies in the same segment. This is a kitchenware segment. One is a clear and out leader, very traditional. They've been in the business for the last 40 to 50 years, and I'm guessing all of you use their products. The second is a very hungry number 3, who over COVID has become number 2, right? Now, I was surprised when I visited the leader probably 3 to 4 months ago, and I was expecting, again, it's an old building, a traditional approach to solving some of the challenges that we mentioned here. I was completely blown away with the approach that they've taken. They've said, Vishnu, we have told our salespeople not to go to clients, not to go to their customers. Do whatever you can using online mediums. Only when you see a challenge in a competitor taking territory over, then you go and visit the customer, because you need to learn this new way of work. If we try to fall back to the old ways of working, the moment things seem to be getting back to normal, then we are not taking the opportunity to learn. And I was really blown away by that. This is a company that is 40 to 45 years old, giving us this sort of an insight. They've said that all of their team meetings, whether they be at the CEO and MD level, whether they be at the ASM level, they all happen on Teams. Okay. No one is allowed to travel to Bangalore. You can come to Bangalore only with the most express of approvals. So here's an organization that is almost 3,500 to 4,000 crores, traditional brick and mortar. That is traditional brick and mortar that is trying to adopt and adapt to the digital way of working. And now I'll talk about the other company. The other company is probably 1,000 crore company, moving very fast, growing at almost 20 to 25%. In the same segment, kitchenware and utensils and stuff like that. They grew completely bootstrapped. They had some private equity money. They have paid out the private equity. The private equity has exited. They've had quite a successful IPO recently. They're sitting on cash. But what they are working with us on are an entire swath of projects. Okay, when we talk of projects, we're talking about complete revamp of the ERP. They're working with us on areas like insight-led sales, so that they don't have to invest in cold calling institutional customers. They're working with us on cold calling institutional customers. They're working on entire CFO office transformation. They are working on giving an enabled mobile phone to all of their salespeople. They're working on having a sales coach at the salesperson level. So they have not told their people don't go to the field, but the way that they are looking at digital transformation is very different from how the other companies looking at digital transformation, right? So there's no, like probably in the earlier conversation, there's no one size fits all. It is what works for you, and you need to cut your cloth according to the coat that you want to wear. But things are happening very, very fast. Then there are other clients who have not actually invested. They've probably done a Teams implementation. And I'm now talking about one of the largest mutual funds that we have in India. The extent of the digital transformation was product innovation and rolling out Teams. Okay. but they are now finding it difficult to stand up to the number 3. They are the number 2. They are probably finding it slightly difficult to stand up to the number 3 and the number 4. So the folks who are probably smaller have spent lesser money, and they are gaining ground on the folks who are number 1 or number 2. And if things continue like this, and if the top guys don't innovate, then we are probably looking at a very different top 3 in each and every business category that we can probably think of in the next 12 months. Again, what I would encourage all of you is, all of you do come from very evolved companies, organizations, families, I'm sure. But my suggestion to you, based on what I've seen in the last 18 months, is you have to improvise, or you need to start asking yourself the hard question: do I really need to be in, or do I really want to be in this business in 18 months' time? Right. So again, I would encourage all of you to probably look at that report. It's a very insightful report. When I read it a couple of days ago, I said, hey, I should have read this report maybe a year ago, because that report outlines pretty much everything that I've been doing in the last 18 months. Okay, so do feel free to take a look at that report. And in case you folks have any questions, we can always relay our experience to you. And we are here today, tomorrow. And just coming back to this entire TiE event, right? This is the first physical event that I'm speaking at. A lot of the events that I've spoken at in the last 12 months have been digital events, right? So very happy to see all of you here. Our focus on Kerala as KPMG continues to remain strong. And our association with TiE goes over the last 7 to 8 years. And we're hoping that TiE, KPMG, we continue to do a lot of good work across the world, not just in India. And best of luck to all of you. Thank you so much.